All right. Oh, I forgot to do the intro. All right, there we go. Got the intro in there. Looks like my microphone might be a little bit hot. Let's see if it's too loud. All right, today, what do we have today? This is what we have today. Oh, yeah, I got my camera working. Hopefully, it doesn't mess up the stream this time. We have the employees from Stix today. If you'll remember, last time we were on jury duty, we heard from Brandon Beatty, something like that. That was the defendant's ex-boyfriend who was in a relationship with the defendant at the time of the crime. And we learned some interesting things from him. We learned that she bought him a boat for $30,000 and a motorcycle and various business expenses. We also heard from her aunt, Kara Britt. She is the owner of the farm where the victim was found. And today, I'm hoping, this might be a little bit of a long one, you guys. I'm hoping that we can get through these three. Well, there's three people in this one testimony, so technically these 5 testimonies. And that way, when we get into the next episode of jury duty, we can focus on the interrogation. And then we just have a little bit longer to go until we're at the verdict. So I think the first video is a little bit over an hour long. And then we have 23 minutes and 46 minutes. So we're going to be here for about 2 hours, a little bit more than 2 hours. I got my coffee. I assume that I'm going to have to go get more coffee at some point. Let me go ahead and full screen this. I'm going to give it a minute before I start it up here. Hold on 1 second. You're buffering here? Oh, it's just really, really bad quality, huh? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, we're good. All right. You guys, let me know if there's something wrong. It's telling me I have poor stream health. So just let me know if we're getting some buffering issues, and I'll turn my camera off if that's the case. But anyway, I'm going to full screen this, and we're going to get right into the testimony. We got a lot to get through today, so let's jump right in.
Cook, there you go. Say it like you mean it, okay? All right, Ms. Jensen's going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Cook, what is your date of birth?
1/16/89.
It's a good year.
And
This year
do
I
you
was born.
have a felony conviction from 10 years ago?
Yes, I have one for theft.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm a medical assistant.
And do you have a degree for that?
It's just a diploma.
Okay. Back in August, September of 2017, did you go to Stix Pool Hall?
Yes.
Okay. And why that particular place?
My friend at the time, Jessica, was a bartender.
Do you know her last name?
Wheeler.
And how often did you go up there back in August, September, October?
Probably maybe 4 or 5 times.
I think we're gonna
And what
hear
would you
from
do when you
Jessica
went
Wheeler
there?
Just sit at
this
the bar
as well.
and talk to her and keep her company.
Okay. Was the bar area small, large, medium?
That's pretty small.
Do you know a girl named Audrey Potts?
Yes.
And how did you know her?
Through Jessica.
Did Audrey work up there at Stix as well?
I think at one point she did and didn't anymore.
Okay. All right. And do you know this defendant seated over here, Ashley MacArthur?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. Do you know who she is?
Yes.
How did you first learn who she was?
She was at the pool hall when we were drinking. She'd be up there, sitting at the bar.
Okay. And back in that same time frame, August, September of 2017, how often do you think you saw her up there?
Maybe twice.
Okay.
Get my notepad ready here.
Did you ever go anywhere with Ashley?
We drove with Jessica to Babes.
Okay. Do you remember about when that was?
Sometime in September.
Okay. And why were you guys going to Babes?
Because Jessica needed to get her payroll from Brandon, and then Ashley needed to talk to Brandon as well.
Okay. So basically you guys were looking for Brandon?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever meet a girl named Taylor Wright?
No.
Are you familiar with her name?
Only from Jessica.
Okay. But I mean, you know who we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see her on the news or on Facebook or some sort of media?
Not until after I'd heard certain things and heard her and was told her name.
Okay. So when did you hear certain things and when were you told her name?
I was told about supposedly her being killed, and I didn't believe it because my friend Jessica told me that she had been killed and that Ashley had did it, and I didn't believe it. Okay.
Stop. Okay. When you heard the name, did you look up information online?
Yes. Yes.
Did you look up information online?
Yes.
Okay. And did you find out that she was missing?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever seen Taylor Wright at Stix before?
No.
What was the time frame of when you looked up Taylor Wright's information online?
Gonna get a different pen.
What do you mean?
Like, when did you look up this information? Month? Year?
In October, sometime maybe early October.
Okay. Of 2017?
Yes.
Okay.
October
Now,
2017.
using that date as a time frame, prior to that, were you present for any conversations that you heard Ashley MacArthur have at Stix?
Yes.
Okay. And using again that October 2017 timeframe, when was that in relation to that date?
Well, sometime, I think maybe it's either end of September or early October. I think end of September.
Okay. And what were the circumstances of whatever you heard? In other words, where were you and who was there?
I was sitting at the bar, Audrey, Ashley. I was sitting there, Jessica was making drinks.
Okay. And what specifically did you hear Ashley MacArthur say?
I heard her say about asking Audrey about how much cocaine would it take to kill somebody, and that nobody would think twice about it about her overdosing because she already did cocaine.
And was this in reference to Taylor Wright?
I assumed.
Okay. Well, it wasn't, you say she wasn't talking about herself, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you hear any other comments Ashley make about her size or anything of that nature?
There's one time she said that she's too small to hurt anybody, she'd just shoot them.
Have you ever been to any farms that Ashley or her family owns?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are all my questions.
All right, Mr. John Barros is going to ask you questions. If
So she
they're
just heard
yes
someone
or no,
talking
please
about
answer
the-
yes or no. Don't volunteer any
Well,
information.
potentially
Okay.
different ways to hurt someone at the bar. The defendant was saying.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
As you mentioned on direct examination, you are a convicted felon, correct?
Yes.
And you told the jury that you were convicted of theft.
Yes.
It was actually grand theft, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't really affect her testimony that much.
I want to start where you ended. You said you heard Ashley MacArthur make a statement that I'm so small I'll just shoot somebody or something like that, or I'm too small to
I'm
fight.
too small to hurt somebody, I'll just shoot them.
When did she say that?
At the bar.
When?
Like into whatever, and I don't know the exact days, maybe into September. I mean, I've only been around her maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay, so you haven't been around her much. Do most of your people talk about just shooting? Most of your friends just talk about shooting people?
No.
Okay, so it would stick out to you, right? A statement like that. This girl I don't really know says, somebody mess with me, I'm too fond to shoot them, and you can't tell them when she said it?
Not from 2 years ago. I can't give you an exact date, no.
And you knew you were coming in here to testify, right?
Yes.
So he's
Who was
trying to
around when she said it?
insinuate-
Jessica,
said it.
other people at the bar.
So everybody else at the bar heard this.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, sorry.
All right, we're going to hear from Jessica, so.
The first time you spoke with law enforcement was on October 23rd, 2017, correct?
I assume.
Okay, that's the information I have from the police report. Was that
Then that's the day.
Speak
Yes,
within
yes.
the microphone.
Then that's the date, yes.
okay? That was after Ashley MacArthur was arrested, correct? On October 19th?
I don't remember the exact date she was arrested, but
But
yes.
You spoke to the police after Ashley MacArthur was arrested.
Okay, then yes.
Is that yes?
I don't remember.
Okay. You spoke to the law enforcement after a body was found out on the Britt family farm?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Do you have trouble remembering things?
No.
Okay. How many times did you speak to law enforcement?
Once then, and then, well, just once.
And you don't
Because-
know if that was before or after Ashley MacArthur was arrested?
All I know is it was,
Yes or no? Just-
no.
Okay. Prior to speaking with law enforcement, you knew this young woman was missing, correct?
Yes.
I mean, to do this yes
I
and
think
no
you
thing on a lot
said
of
on direct
trials.
examination that you, maybe for, I'm choosing a poor word here, but you did research or you looked online, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you read stuff about this case, correct?
Yes.
And you claim this information that Ashley made these statements, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do anything with that information, did you?
Until after she
No.
was arrested. That's pretty interesting.
When you said this one conversation you heard from Ashley MacArthur about the cocaine. You remember that conversation? You testified about that?
Yes.
Okay, I think you said it was end of September-ish time frame. Is that what you said, testified to?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see any cocaine that night?
There was a night I saw cocaine.
Okay, I'm asking you that
I don't
night
know
that you heard.
which.
Okay, let me.
I don't know what it, okay.
The night that you claim you heard that conversation about the cocaine, did you see cocaine that night? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And where'd you see the cocaine?
With Ashley and Audrey.
Okay.
They went and got it and came back.
Where
And
was
then
the
I left
Where was the cocaine when you saw it?
with them in a, like a, I don't know, with them, and then I left.
How did you see it? I mean, did they pull it out and put it on the bar and set it there? How did you see this cocaine?
It was in their hand.
Okay. Now, that same night, talking about the conversation that Ashley had, that you're claiming when she made the statement about the cocaine and you saw some cocaine, did you see any of these girls, Ashley MacArthur, Jessica Wheeler, Audrey Potts, go into a closet at the establishment?
Not that night, no.
Not that same night?
No.
Have you made a prior statement under oath saying that that night you did see the three of them go into a closet and you yanked the door open when they were in this closet? Them being
Oh, did he
Ashley
catch her?
MacArthur, Audrey Potts, and Jessica Wheeler.
Oh, he got her.
I saw them, that was a different night, because that was like when I first was up there, and I thought Jessica was doing something.
Do you recall giving a deposition on March 21st, 2019? I think it's probably the only time you and I have ever met. Do you recall giving
Yes.
that deposition? You recall going to a place across the street, Anchor Court reporting?
Yes.
And you recall being placed under oath
Yes.
and us asking you questions about this
Yes.
this case? And for the state, I'm referring to page 16 of
What
the
did she say under
deposition.
oath, buddy?
So let's start back at starting at page 15, line 25 through line 14. May I approach the witness?
You may.
I don't want you to read anything out loud, just to yourself, okay? That's the cover page. Start right here, line 25. Go through to the next page.
Oh, she's not going to read it out loud, they said.
Okay, well, it was not the same night.
Okay. And in the deposition, did you say it was the same night?
Yes,
Okay. May I approach the witness?
You may.
Man, my fast notes are so sloppy. I can barely even read them.
Just want to ask you a few more questions. I'm going back to
And
Oops.
he was
No,
like,
no, don't do that.
Arthur make a statement that I'm so small, just shoot something.
All I know is it was
you are completely free, don't dis-
Look like.
Okay, we're right around here. But I did figure out how to increase the playback speed, so that's cool.
okay. Well, it was not the same night.
Okay. And in the deposition, did you say it was the same night?
Yes, I.
My approach the witness?
Sorry about that, guys.
Just want to ask you a few more questions. I'm going back to when you saw the cocaine, the actual cocaine. Whose hand did you see it in?
I mean, it was in. I don't really recall. I mean, it was in both of their hands at some point, and then it was just on the bar, and then I left because I got mad.
Both of their hands being, tell the jury who both of their hands are.
Well, Audrey's and Ashley's, but then it was put on the bar,
Okay.
and then
What
I
did-
left.
What did it look like?
Like a twisted up in a bag, like a ball,
A ball? What color was it?
white.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Johnson, redirect.
Ms. Cook, do you get nervous when you're under pressure?
Yes.
Are you nervous today?
Yes.
Were you nervous in your deposition?
Yes.
Did you misspeak about when you saw the cocaine in your deposition?
Yes.
Okay. And let me ask you this. Mr. Barras had asked you about some, I guess, stuff you may have looked up in the media. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
Okay. Did the media say anything about cocaine anywhere?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are all my questions.
All right, is she free to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Is she completely free, John? Mr. Barassa? John Barassa?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You are completely
witness.
free. Don't discuss your testimony. Up to that microphone. State your name.
Who do we got today?
Jessica Wheeler.
All right, I need you
Jessica.
to lean into the microphone and use a big voice. Try again.
Jessica Wheeler.
I like it. Go.
Ms. Wheeler, what is your date of birth?
January 22nd of 88.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a medical assistant.
Back in July, August, September of 2017, where did you work?
For a pool room, Stix Billiards.
And what did you do for Stix Billiards?
I ran the bar there
How long did you work there?
about 6 months.
While you worked at Stix Billiards, did you meet this defendant seated over here, Ashley MacArthur?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you meet her? I mean, how did that happen?
I started working there, and she was involved with the man that owned the business, and she was up there a lot, so we kind of got to know each other that way.
Okay. How often, while you were working, how often did you see Ashley MacArthur come to Stix?
Probably every day,
During the
Came in
day,
every day.
evening?
during the day and at night.
Did you and Ashley become friends?
Yes.
While you were working at Stix, did Ashley contribute financially to that business?
Yes.
Okay, and what type of things did you see her paying for?
Like the cable bill or the power, she would buy beer and snacks and things for the bar.
When you would run out of supplies for Stix, would you contact Ms. MacArthur?
Yes.
Did you have a friend named Alexis Cook?
Yes.
Okay, and did she come up to Stix sometimes while you were working?
Yes.
Did you know Audrey Potts?
I didn't before I started there, but yes, after I started working there, I met Audrey.
Okay, and did Audrey work up there as well?
She did after. She worked there before I worked there, and then she came back after I started.
Okay, and what did she do for Stix, Audrey?
The same thing. She worked the bar.
Okay. And did you and Audrey become friends?
Yes.
Do you know who Taylor Wright is?
I do not.
Okay. Did you ever meet her?
No.
Did you ever hear Ashley MacArthur talk about her?
Yes.
All right. Tell us the date, if you recall, and where you were.
I was at work one night. It was September 7th, and Ashley was up there and Audrey were up there. They were both up there, and we were all kind of sitting around talking, you know, and I overheard Ashley and Audrey talking, so I walked over to them, and I just remember her stating something along the lines of...
Let me stop you real quick. When you say her, are you talking about Ashley or Audrey?
Yes.
Okay. What did you hear Ashley say?
That this world would be better if Taylor wasn't here, and that she wasn't a good person. And that I just kind of zoned it out a little bit, went back and did what I was doing, then came back and we were talking more. And she said that she wondered how much cocaine it would take for somebody to overdose. And I said, I don't know, probably like an 8-ball. And then I said, just shut up. And then I walked away and went back to work, and we were drinking. And so we just went on about the night after that.
Okay. Had you been drinking?
Yeah, but very little. Probably a couple shots because I was at work, and you know, you can't drink while you're working, so.
Okay. Did you see Ashley MacArthur drinking?
Yeah, we all took about the same amount because I had the bottle behind the bar, so I was giving it to them, so.
Okay. How much did you all?
Probably 2 to 3 shots, maybe.
Did Ashley seem intoxicated or not knowing what she was doing?
No.
Okay.
It was still pretty early, you know, so.
All right. Did you personally go anywhere after that, after you heard that conversation?
No, I was at work the rest of the night.
Okay. Did you see Ashley go anywhere after that conversation?
Ashley and Audrey left together after that conversation.
And did Ashley say where they were going?
They were gonna go get food and go buy babes.
Okay. And at some point, did they come back?
Yes.
They meaning Ashley and Audrey?
Yes.
Now, you said September 7th. Did you take a picture of you and Ashley and Audrey that night?
Yes.
Okay. And is that why you remember that night?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Richard, witness. I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit number 10. You'll just take a look at that and see if you recognize it.
This is it.
Okay. Did you take that photograph of you three?
Yes, I did.
And is that the same night of the conversation that you just told the jury about?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, I've moved States 10 into evidence.
I have no objection.
All right, received as States 10.
Judge, and if I could just publish very quickly for the jury. Watch your eyes and go right in your face.
Jessica does much better just saying like yes or no and just answering the
For the record,
questions.
this is State's Exhibit number 10. Ms. Wheeler, what was your cell phone number back then?
850-293-2949.
And have you ever been to any farms that Ashley's family owns?
No.
Do you see Ashley MacArthur in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you please point to her and identify what she's wearing?
She has a black top on.
Okay, let the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant.
It will.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are all my questions.
All right, Mr. John Barosset's going to ask you some questions, and if they're just yes or no, answer yes or no. Don't volunteer extra, okay?
Okay.
Everybody okay? Finish this witness? Or sort of...
Aren't there only 3 witnesses?
Good morning, ma'am. You indicated on direct examinations that
Yeah,
you
so
are friends
Audrey's gonna
with
take a
Ms.
while.
Cook, Alexis Cook.
Yes.
Okay. And then you described for the jury this conversation that you said took place on September 7th, 2017, correct?
Correct.
About the world would be better off in the cocaine conversation?
Yes.
And this conversation that you claim you heard was between Ashley MacArthur and Audrey Potts. Is that what you told the jury?
Yes.
And they were kind of off to the side of the bar area?
Yes.
Okay. Alexis Cook was not part of this conversation, was she?
No.
Going back to September 7th, 2017, when y'all took that, was that a selfie?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, didn't Alexis say that she was part of that conversation?
You indicated on direct examination that you had been drinking some, but not that much because you were working that evening,
Yes.
correct? Isn't it true that all of y'all were, quote, really drinking, meaning drinking a lot that evening?
We drank pretty much every time that we were there.
I just want you to answer yes or
Okay,
no.
yes.
All right, so it wasn't y'all drinking a little bit. Y'all were really drinking. That's the truth, right?
No.
Have you testified under oath on a previous occasion that we were really drinking? Let me ask you this. Do you recall giving a deposition, probably the first time you and I met across the street over at Anchor Court Reporting?
Yes.
And you remember that you took an oath to tell the truth, correct?
Right, yes.
And that we asked you some questions about what you knew about this case, correct?
Yes.
For the state, I'm directing your attention to page 11, line 23 through 24.
So both of
Approach
these
the witness.
witnesses have altered their
Anything out loud, okay?
statements under oath.
This is a cover sheet for your deposition. I want you just to yourself. Start at line 22 through, you can go down to 25. Just read it to yourself. Have you had a chance to review that?
Yes.
And this deposition was, I should have told you, was taken on October 17th of 2018. At that time, did you testify under oath that we were really drinking?
Yes.
You testified on direct that you were the one that said it would be an 8 ball. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Is that something you Googled on your phone or did research for?
I don't remember.
You testified that Ashley MacArthur and Audrey Potts left for a period of time, correct?
Yes.
And then they came back?
Yes.
When they came back, you saw them with Whataburger,
Correct.
correct? Did you see any cocaine, or when they came back, any cocaine or drugs in either of their hands?
No.
Did you see any cocaine sitting on the bar?
No.
Okay, so she's disputing Alexis.
You told us about the conversation on September 7th, 2017. It's fair to say that you continued to see or socialize with Ashley MacArthur after that date
Yes.
throughout September 2017?
Yes.
At least part-time through October 2017?
Yes.
Okay. And you became aware at some point that she was arrested?
Yes.
Okay. And during that same time frame, from prior to Ashley MacArthur being arrested and this conversation in September, on September 7th, 2017, you saw media coverage about this missing young woman, Taylor Wright. And when I say media coverage, it could be news, newspaper, social media. You saw stuff like that on it, correct?
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember 100%.
You don't remember how to say it? You talked about it with people up at Stix, correct? I mean, there was conversation about up at Stix during that time period.
After it broke the news, yes. Before, no.
Okay. So when the news coverage started on it, y'all would talk about it, correct?
Yes.
And the first time you came forward with this information was, I believe the first time, it was in, when's the first time you talked to law enforcement?
Probably a couple weeks before my deposition with you, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure 100%.
Okay, which was in October of 2018 is the date of the deposition.
Yes.
So, okay. And during that time frame, going back to September 7th, 2017, up until, let's just say, mid-October 2017, when you spent time with Ashley MacArthur, I mean, she didn't act any different, did she? She acted completely normal?
Yes.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
All right, one moment.
I think it's interesting that she has disputed a lot of what Alexis
All right, Ms.
said
Jensen.
about seeing the cocaine on the bar in their hands and all that stuff.
You testified that you don't remember the media coverage.
This is redirect.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so did you remember hearing anything about cocaine in the media?
No.
Okay. Now, Mr. Barossett talked to you about alcohol the night of September 7th. Do you remember specifically hearing what Ashley MacArthur said about Taylor and cocaine?
Yes, I do.
Did any alcohol you drank that night affect what you heard?
Not at all.
At the time you heard this conversation, what was Ashley MacArthur's condition?
She was sitting there talking to us like always.
Did she seem to be slurring or unbalanced or confused?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are all my questions.
All right, is she free to go?
Yes.
Completely free?
Yes.
Completely free, Mr. John Barossett?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you are completely free. Do not discuss your
All
testimony.
right, I'm getting into
Thank you.
Aubrey, I think, next.
Pull up to the microphone. State your name, please.
Audrey Warner.
Okay, lean
Audrey,
in for me,
not
so
Aubrey.
one more time.
Audrey Warner.
Perfect.
Ms. Warner, what is your maiden last name?
Potts.
Okay. And what is your date of birth?
6/24/91.
And what do you currently do for a living?
I'm a medical assistant.
They're all medical assistants, huh?
At some time in 2017, did you work for Stix Billiards?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you first start working there?
March 2017.
Okay. What did you do for Stix?
Bartender.
While you worked there, did you meet this defendant seated over here, Ashley MacArthur?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you first met her, what was she doing up there at Stix?
She would come in because her and her family own some pool tables, jukeboxes, and I do believe one of the games.
So would she kind of, I guess, either service or take money from those machines?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then in a week's period, how often would you see Ashley up at Stix?
Once, twice, 3 times a week.
Okay.
1 to 3 times a week.
And initially,
said
it
every
started
day.
out as like a business arrangement, would you
It was
say?
not every
Yes, ma'am.
day.
Okay. And then after some time, did it become more of a personal situation where she would hang out?
I see,
Yes,
I see.
ma'am.
Okay. Did you and Ashley MacArthur become friends?
Yes, ma'am.
And back in that time frame in 2017, how would you describe your relationship to her? Were you close? Were you casual? I mean, what was
We
your...
were close, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you and Ashley socialize outside of Stix?
Yes, ma'am.
And around July, August, September of 2017, how often would you and Ashley MacArthur speak?
Every day.
Did you know Jessica Wheeler?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that also through Stix?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you two become friends as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you know Taylor Wright?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And how did you meet Taylor Wright?
Through Ashley.
Your best time frame, when did you first meet Taylor Wright? In 2017.
July.
Okay. And where did you meet her?
First time was Ashley's house.
And who all was at Ashley's house on that day?
Ashley, me, and Taylor.
And did Taylor's girlfriend
So
Cassandra
she's the
show
only
up
one
at
of
some
these
point?
3 that have
I
actually
do believe
met
she was there.
the victim.
Ashley asked me to stay outside.
Okay. But the 4 of you ladies were there at Ashley's home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you recall, was this a day when Taylor and Cassandra were having some issues?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. After that day at Miss MacArthur's home, did you see Taylor a couple of other times?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what were those circumstances?
We went to New Orleans, and I ended up having to have surgery, and Taylor and Cassandra came to see me in the hospital.
Okay. And any other times that you saw her?
We would go have lunch
Okay.
she was
Did
friends
you and
with
Taylor
Taylor
ever
as
do
well.
anything on your own, or was it always with Miss MacArthur?
with Ashley.
Okay, never mind.
What types of things, if anything, did Ashley say about Taylor?
That she was annoying and she wished that she would leave her alone.
Did there come a time where Ashley said something about harming Taylor?
About putting cocaine in her beer.
Okay. And can you tell us, if you recall the date and where this conversation took place?
September 7th at Stix Billiards.
Okay. And who all was there?
Me, Ashley, and Jessica.
And
And it's what to write.
what did Ashley say to you about Taylor that night?
That the world would be a better place without Taylor.
Okay. And you said something about cocaine. What specifically did Ashley say about cocaine?
How much coke do you think it would take to kill somebody?
After that conversation, let me back up. Were you drinking alcohol at that point?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anything about your alcohol level that would impair your ability to remember that conversation?
No, ma'am.
How much alcohol did you see Ashley drink before that conversation?
Not a lot.
Okay. And what about Jessica? Was Jessica drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how much had she had to drink that you recall?
Not a lot.
After this conversation about Taylor and cocaine, did you go anywhere?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you go?
Me and Ashley left and went to Babes.
Okay, do you remember approximately what time it was?
I think between 10:30 and 11
I don't know what Babes
And why
is.
did you and Ashley leave Stix to go to Babes?
to purchase some cocaine.
Who were you going to purchase cocaine from?
A gentleman named who went by T.
Who arranged the deal with T?
Ashley.
Who drove from Stix to Babes?
I did.
When you got to Babes, did either you or Ashley go inside, or how did that take place?
No, ma'am. He came outside of my vehicle.
He meaning T?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how much cocaine was purchased?
$250 worth.
And did you actually do this transaction, or did Ashley?
I don't remember who handed off the money, but I know there was money handed off.
Okay. How long were you and Ashley at Babes that night?
I think only about 10 or 15 minutes.
And after Babes, where did you and Ashley go?
We went to Whataburger.
After you went to Whataburger, where did you go?
Back to Stix.
When you got back to Stix, what did Ashley do at that point?
She went in the back and laid down on the floor, and I covered her up with my jacket.
Did you take a picture of her?
Yes, ma'am.
Another picture.
Which veracity family?
I'm sorry.
Are you doing this?
I am.
Okay.
Ms. Warner, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 139. This is going to be page 4270. Is that the picture that you took of Ms. McCarther laying on the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the same night that you and Ms. McCarther went to Babes and purchased the cocaine?
Yes, ma'am.
It was September 7th, I believe, yeah.
Did Ashley tell you, either before, during, or after you went to Babes, what she was going to do with the cocaine?
She said that she was going to put it in Taylor's beard.
After Ashley was laying on the floor and you covered her up, where did you go from Stix?
I went up to the hospital, the Sacred Heart Hospital.
Why'd you go up there?
I had a friend that was in the hospital.
So they weren't even getting the cocaine to do. They were.
At
She
some
was
point
literally buying
after
it to try
this
to
night
kill
on September
Taylor,
7th,
according to these
2017.
witnesses.
Did you ask Ashley what she did with the cocaine?
Yes, ma'am, on September 8th.
Okay, that would have been the next day?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember approximately what time you talked to her?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you call her or did she call you?
I feel like I called her.
Okay. And how did that conversation go?
I think I asked, what did she do with it?
And what did she tell you?
That she put it in her beer and Taylor spit it out because she said it tasted sour.
Okay. Do you remember what you did on September 8th, so the day after the Babes transaction? What did you do that September 8th?
In the morning, I
Okay.
took my dad up to Verizon to get his cell phone.
That's attempted murder right there.
And did you get a copy of the Verizon transaction to confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit number 11.
So she bought the cocaine on
recognize
September
that
7th.
picture?
Yes,
Must
ma'am.
have hung out
And,
with
is that a
Taylor Wright
copy
on
of
September 7th. and put the
a
cocaine in
Verizon
her
transaction from September 8th of 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time I would move States 11 into evidence.
Should I would object this hearsay as Verizon record?
Judge, can we approach?
Council approach.
Ms. Warner, what time were you at Verizon on September 8th, 2017?
What? 11:09, because I think it's an hour ahead.
Okay, 11:09 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So exhibit number 11 is going to just be marked for identification purposes
Right.
only. Okay.
After you went to Verizon, where did you go from there?
Yeah, I know, Deke.
And then I went to work at Stix.
Okay, and do you remember what
still
time you went to
getting
work
a,
at Stix on February 8th?
Warning that the stream health is
2
poor, but it seems to be
PM?
working fine.
Yes.
September 8th.
September 8th. What did I
Is
say?
Is that a Friday?
You
Yes,
said
ma'am.
February 8th.
Oh,
I'm just interjecting myself.
I'm sorry.
September 8th.
I'm trying to read my notes. Sorry about that. On September 8th, after you went to Verizon, where did you go?
To work.
Okay.
At Stix.
And what time did you get to work on September 8th?
2
AM or PM?
p.m.
Did you have, other than this cocaine beer conversation on September 8th, did you have any other conversations with Ashley MacArthur on that day that stood out to you?
Yes, she sent me or I texted her. No, she called me and she was short. So I texted her and I said, why are you so winded? She's like, I picked up a saddle.
And you say she was short. What do you mean?
Like she got off the phone really fast.
Do you remember, was that before or after you got to work around 2?
I'm on my way to work.
Okay. Now, did you screenshot that conversation that you just described from your phone?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your cell phone number back then?
850-377-3469.
And what name did you have in your phone for Ashley MacArthur?
Thelma.
Why Thelma?
It was just kind of a funny nickname, like Thelma and Louise, because we were together so much.
Right now we're listening to the employees from Stix. This is the most interesting one by far. The first two the only thing they really talked about was how Ashley paid bills and supplies for the bar. We already knew that. And they talked about a conversation where Ashley said the world would be better off without the victim and asked how much cocaine it would take to kill someone, and then bought $250 worth of cocaine, put it into Taylor's beer. Taylor spit it out because she said the beer tasted weird, and that was on September 7th and September 8th.
Yes,
And that
ma'am.
pretty much catches
And is
you up
that
so far.
the conversation you had with Miss MacArthur about her being winded?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, at this time I would move States 12 into evidence.
No objection.
Received as States 12.
After you got to work on September 8th, 2017, did you
on
see
September
Ashley
8th.
MacArthur that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you see her?
She came up to Stix.
Do you remember what she was driving?
Zach's truck.
And was that normal or not normal for her to drive Zach's truck?
Not normal.
What did you normally see her drive?
Either her black Jeep or her white Jeep.
And do you remember about what time it was that she showed up at Stix on February 8th? Or, I keep saying February, September 8th.
About 2:30 or 3.
Okay.
Around 2:30, 3 p.m.
Did you actually see her pull in to Stix?
I don't recall how I saw her.
Okay. When did you notice that she was there?
I feel like I might have had the windows open at Stix because there was 2 up front. And I think I
I'll
might have
miss
had
this, but-
the curtains open.
Okay.
One other interesting thing is that a couple of the witnesses, let's see, the first witness we spoke to was Alexis, and she had said she witnessed the conversation about the cocaine. She had said that she saw the cocaine on the bar. The following witness, Jessica Wheeler, said that Alexis was not part of that conversation and she did not see the cocaine in their hands or on the bar. And now we're up to Aubrey, who was with Ashley, the defendant, when she bought the cocaine. And she also said that the defendant said the world would be a better place without the victim, and she also agreed that she asked how much coke it would take to kill someone. And then she left with the defendant to buy the coke. She said that they bought $250 of cocaine, and then they went back to Stix, and she asked what she was going to do with the cocaine, and the defendant said that she was going to put it in Taylor's beer. The next day, September 8th, Aubrey went to the Verizon store and got a hold of the defendant, Ashley, again, and asked her what happened to the coke. And Ashley said that she put it in Taylor's beer, but that Taylor spit it out because it tasted sour. So, a lot of disagreement between a couple of the witnesses, but they all say that she made the statements, the world would be a better place without the victim. And she also asked how much cocaine it would take to kill someone. And according to this witness, at least, she actually went through and tried to put the cocaine inside of her beer to kill her. So we've already gotten through 2 witnesses, and we got about halfway through this video. So I imagine that there's going to be a lot of questions from the defense and on redirect on Aubrey. So let's just jump back into it.
And did she come into Stix or did you go outside?
I went outside.
And was Ashley MacArthur by herself?
Yes.
Did you see Taylor Wright anywhere around?
No, ma'am.
And why was Ashley there if she told you?
I think she just stopped by because she usually would just sometimes stop by.
Okay. And how did she seem on this day on September 8th?
Kind of fitted in a hurry.
Okay. Did she say why she was in Zach's truck that day?
Doing work on the farm.
She was working on the farm.
And what did she look like physically?
Just kind of tired.
Did you notice anything in the truck?
I noticed some bags in the back of it.
What kind of bags?
I'm not too sure because I just kind of looked over my shoulder real quick.
Fair enough. How long did Ashley stay at Stix at that time?
Just a couple minutes.
Okay. And did she say where she was going from there?
Headed back to the farm.
Had Ashley talked to you about this farm before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what did she tell you about it?
Just that her family had that farm and another one.
And when you say that farm, which farm are you talking about? The one there was one. Do you know where the farms were?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
That's too
Now,
bad because
still on September 8th, at that time, on that day, had you been to either of these farms?
no problem, Deke.
No, ma'am.
Did you go after September 8th, 2017?
Yes, I went on September 13th.
Okay, and why do you remember that specific day?
I took a picture with a horse.
Okay. And who did you go out there with?
Ashley.
Why did you and Ashley go out to this farm on September 13th?
I was under the impression it was to check on Kyle because he had just moved here.
Okay. And who's Kyle?
Her cousin.
Did she say specifically why she wanted to go out there?
No, ma'am.
And where was this farm located? Well, let me ask you this. Was it in Pensacola or in Milton?
No, Cantonment? The one in Cantonment?
I'm sorry. Was it in Escambia County or Santa Rosa County?
I don't know.
Okay. How far was it from Stix?
Like 30 minutes.
Okay. And do you remember what, well, whose car were you in on the 13th?
Ashley's black Jeep.
When you guys got out there, did you make contact with Kyle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long were you there? Out at the farm?
Maybe like an hour and a half.
And what were you guys doing out there?
We went out there, saw Kyle for a little bit, and then went and checked on the
I
horses.
guess maybe
and then
she
back
must
to
have gone
the-
there for a drink
Okay.
or just to hang out with her friends, but only for a
And
couple
what did
minutes.
Zach,
so I don't know.
who's Zach?
Her ex-husband.
Okay. And what did Zach do when he showed up?
He was coming to get the Polaris 4x4.
What's a Polaris 4x4? Is it like a four-wheeler or something?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like an ATV.
I'm sorry?
Like an ATV.
Okay. And do you know if he called Ashley before he came out there?
I feel like he just kind of showed up.
I'm sorry?
I feel like he
lean in the microphone and
yes,
speak up.
I feel like he just kind of showed up.
Okay. And when he got out there, what did the three of you do, if anything?
He got the Polaris, and then I was like, "Can I ride on it?" So we rode from the barn around to where like the fence lining was, where he had brought a trailer, and the ATV did not fit on it. So we just kind of left it there for them to come back at another time to try and get it.
Okay. Did you and Ashley and Zach eventually leave at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
And where was Kyle?
He had left like 30 minutes after we got there to go to school.
Okay.
I wish I took his good notes for the previous testimony because I don't remember what day the murder happened or the disappearance happened, I should say. Because they're spending a lot of time on September 8th, 7th, 8th, and now 13th. But my memory is right. I thought the crime happened in November. Or maybe she was arrested in November. I don't know. But if she went to the bar, so she was at the farm. Let's say the crime happened on September 8th. She was at the farm. Hey, thanks, dude. It's a pretty nice little desk. I can stack my papers on it. But anyway, so if she was at the farm, let's say covering up her crimes on September 8th, and then she went to the bar for some reason, and then back to the farm, that is kind of strange. And don't forget that Audrey said when she spoke with her in the morning around 11 a.m. on the phone to ask her what she did with the cocaine the night before, she said that Ashley sounded winded, and Ashley said it was because she had to pick up a saddle. So if that is the night that the crime was committed, it does seem like there's a lot of suspicious stuff going on. You okay, buddy? Yeah, you're okay. All right, I'm going to hit play again.
Did you become aware that Taylor was missing at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how did you hear? Like, was it, well, let me ask you this, was it from a person, or was it from the news? Was it from media? What was it from?
I think Jessica had called me at work.
Okay. And did you ask Ashley if she knew anything about Taylor being missing?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did she tell you?
She would kind of avoid the subject, or just that she was still missing.
Does seem pretty sus.
Did Ashley ever seem concerned or worried for her friend?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Those are all my questions.
All right, ma'am. Mr. John Barras is going to ask you questions, and if they're just yes or no, answer yes or no. Keep your answer short, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
It should be interesting.
Good
We still got
afternoon,
a lot
Mrs.
of time
Warner.
on this witness.
You became somewhat of friends with Taylor Wright, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned on direct examination hanging out with Taylor Wright and Ashley MacArthur at times, correct?
Yes.
I mentioned even a trip to, I guess y'all took a trip to New Orleans, correct?
Yes, sir.
And during that trip, you became
So,
pretty ill during
If
that
Ashley
trip, right?
hated her
Yes,
so
sir.
much,
You
why
were in
did
the
she go
hospital
hang out with
for
her so much?
Days with Ness, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, and you mentioned Cassandra came by to see you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Taylor came by to see you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ashley MacArthur checked on you more than anybody, correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, actually drove from Pensacola several times over to New Orleans to see you in the hospital, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You also hung out with Taylor Wright some on your own, I mean, without Ashley MacArthur there.
Uh-oh.
I don't really remember, to be honest.
Did you and Taylor Wright work a PI case together? Remember doing that?
Yes.
Okay, so that would have been times that you hung out with
Yes.
with Taylor Wright without Ashley MacArthur being
Yes.
there, correct? Now,
How would you forget that when they asked if you hung out with her alone? How do you forget that you worked a
The-
PI case?
you mentioned on direct examination, kind of at the end, the state was asking you about, well, did Ashley ever seem concerned, or, you know, the fact that Taylor was missing, and your answer was no, she didn't. Isn't that what you told the jury?
Yes.
Now, and we're going to get into more detail the conversation that you claim you heard on 9/7 about Ashley MacArthur wanting harm done to Taylor Wright. Tell the jury when the first time you spoke to the police was.
What do you mean? The first time I spoke to the
When's the
police?
first time you came forward to law enforcement with any information in this case?
When I got my lawyer.
Okay, so you weren't real concerned with helping your friend Taylor Wright out with any of this information you knew.
Be a
Were
date,
you?
though.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, the police asked you to come talk to them, you didn't.
No.
Is that correct, right? You did not go talk to them when they asked you to.
Yes.
You didn't go talk to the police until after Ashley MacArthur was arrested, correct?
Yes.
But you claim you had all this information about your friend way before that.
Yes.
Your friend that was missing,
Yes.
that you knew was missing.
Yes.
So were they
Let's
covering
focus in
up
on
for
this
her? Because they have to
conversation
have had their
on that you say
suspicions, am I
occurred on
right?
September 7th, 2017, that Thursday night at Stix. Do you know Alexis Cook?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know her from going up to Stix, or her coming up to Stix?
She would come up to Stix sometimes.
Okay. Was this conversation that you described about the cocaine, was Miss Cook part of this conversation?
I don't recall her being there.
Another one that's saying Alexis was not there.
Anytime that evening, after you mentioned, we'll get into this more detail, but you mentioned you went out somewhere and then you came back to Stix. Anytime after that, were you and Jessica Wheeler and Ashley in a closet somewhere in Stix where Alexis Cook came ripping it open?
No, sir.
It seems like they asked her to come and she said no, and then got a lawyer and then talked to them after the defendant was arrested.
Focusing again on this conversation on September 7th, you all were drinking. When I say you all, I mean you, Ashley MacArthur, and
I
Jessica
agree
Wheeler
with
were
you.
all drinking beer, correct?
No,
But-
we were also.
So I think the defense's argument here is saying, basically, you're friends with Taylor Wright. You worked a PI case with Taylor Wright. You had this information that your other friend potentially was involved with this, and you never brought that information forward until after Ashley was arrested. So she was never really concerned about helping Taylor Wright she was always just trying to cover up for Ashley. I think that's his angle.
In, Crown.
So were y'all taking shots of it?
Yes, sir.
Now, it seemed like on direct examination, you described it as, well, we were drinking, but we weren't really impaired or drunk or anything like that. Is that how you described it?
Yes.
In fact, y'all were drunk that evening, weren't you? All of you.
Yes.
Okay. Why'd you say earlier y'all weren't drunk?
Because when that conversation happened, we had only taken about a couple of shots, and then as the night proceeded, before me and Ashley left, we had taken many more. Well, me and Jess had.
Okay, so this is the only witness who's answered that question in a way that makes sense. All of them said that they weren't drinking, and then the defense points out each of you testified under oath that you guys were drinking heavily that night. And this is the only witness who said we weren't drinking heavily at the time of that conversation. It was later. So yes to them being drunk, but not during the conversation. Kind of clearing things up a little bit for me because I was
You
a
said
little
that at some point
confused
that
about
you
that.
and Ashley MacArthur went to, I believe it was Babe Strip Club, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's a strip
It was
club.
just the two of you?
Yes, sir.
You drove up there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
And you indicated that someone came out of Babe's
Yes, sir.
and there was a transaction.
Yes, sir.
Did you see any drugs?
I did not see any drugs get handed off, no, sir.
In fact, there was never any drugs in your car that evening, was there?
No, sir.
Okay, so y'all didn't do a transaction up at Babe's.
All I saw was money being handed off.
Would you
Hold on a
know? I
second.
mean, you're sitting right there. You would know if there were drugs in your car, right?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't see any drugs in your car.
No, sir.
In fact, there were no drugs in your car.
Not that I saw, no, sir.
Did you ever see cocaine that night?
No, sir.
Did you ever have cocaine in your hand that night?
No, sir.
Did you ever did you see cocaine up on the bar at Stix that night?
No, sir.
Okay. That's kind of huge. Is it just me or is that kind of huge? She never saw the cocaine. Alexis testified that her and Ashley had the cocaine out, put it on the bar, and she's saying, no, not only did I not see the cocaine, she can't be sure that there was ever drugs in the car. To be fair, what were they going to the strip club to purchase? But I still got to write this down real quickly. When she was asked, was there ever drugs in your car that night, she said no. Something's fishy about this. When asked, huh. So it kind of seems like Alexis's testimony was kind of bull. It doesn't really explain the other ones, Jessica's and Audrey's, but
There was a picture introduced into evidence of Ashley MacArthur laying on the floor. Kind of sounds like that may have been the end of the night and you covered up, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then I believe you said that you went to the hospital to visit a friend.
Yes, sir.
What time approximately did you leave Stix, whether on, I guess, September 7th into the early morning hours of September 8th, 2017? What time did you leave?
Between 1 and 2.
And that would be AM, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
And it sounds like, from your testimony, you left Stix prior to Ashley leaving Stix. You covered up and then you went and did your thing? Or do you know?
No, I woke her up and said it's time to go.
So y'all left about the same time?
Yes, sir.
1 to 2 a.m. on the morning of September 8th, 2017. Is that
Well,
yes?
that's in
Oh,
the-
yes, sir.
wait, the cocaine was September 7th. September 7th, group talking. World would be better off without her. How much coke to OD? Where are we at here? September 7th at Stix. They went to buy cocaine. September 7th, they bought the cocaine. So September 8th, they left at 1 to 2 a.m. Really confusing.
You testified on direct examination about, you said a phone call you had with Ashley MacArthur on September 8th regarding actually putting cocaine in Taylor Wright's beer that she was drinking. Do you remember that testimony?
So they were talking about 2 dates there, I guess?
Can you tell the jury, again, tell me, what did Ashley Leslie tell you in that phone call?
That she had put it in Taylor's beer and Taylor said it tasted sour and she spit it out.
Put what in Taylor's beer? What's it?
The cocaine.
Okay. What time did that phone call occur between you and Ashley MacArthur on September 8th, 2017?
I don't remember what time that was.
Was it in the morning? Was it in the afternoon?
In the morning.
It was in the morning. But you don't recall approximately a time in the morning.
Okay, that
No,
makes
sir.
sense.
It sounds like you're saying that conversation
Okay,
that
I
Ashley put
understand.
something.
I was 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning of September 8th. For some reason, I was thinking 1 to 2 a.m. like on the night of September 8th, but that would be September 9th. So that's my fault. I understand.
In a beer to potentially try to kill someone. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many times have people had conversations with you like that?
Never.
Okay, so this would have been the first time?
Yes.
Be something that you would remember, correct? I mean, it's shocking.
Yes.
The conversation was in the morning, right? We told.
Yes.
So, in order for that to happen, Ashley MacArthur would have seen Taylor Wright between leading Stix at 1 to 2 a.m. and sometime in the morning on September 8th, and Taylor drinking a beer in the morning, right?
Yes.
When did you learn that Taylor Wright, approximately, when did you learn that she was missing?
I don't remember the exact date when I learned she went missing.
Okay, you learned through Jessica Wheeler, correct?
Yes.
What you told us, okay. This information that you're saying that Ashley MacArthur told you on the phone, what did you do? Let's just pick a date, middle September. What did you do with this information on September 15, 2017?
What do you mean?
This information that Ashley MacArthur, you claimed, said you tried to
God, I keep
overdose
leaning
Taylor
right
with
up into the
beer,
camera.
or
Sorry, you
cocaine
guys.
in the beer. Excuse me, what did you do with this information on September 15, 2017?
I went and
This is
got
the
a lawyer.
defense questioning.
I'm sorry.
I went and got a lawyer.
On the 15th, that's the date you got a lawyer?
I don't remember the date that I got a lawyer.
And the point I'm trying to make is the 15th of September, you didn't do anything with this information as far as give it to law enforcement or anybody that could potentially help Taylor Wright, right? That you're saying was said to you, right? Did you do anything with it on September 16th?
I don't think so.
September 17th?
I don't think so.
This information didn't come up again until after she was arrested. That's the first time you told law enforcement about it, right? You didn't tell law enforcement before she was arrested, right?
No.
That she tried to kill your friend? That she told you that?
No.
Wait. This is prosecution. Sorry, it was on redirect. Okay, so this is the witness for the defense. So yeah, this
The
is
text that
prosecution.
state
I have my
the
notes a
evidence
little wrong.
on September, the text from September 8, 2017 between you and Ashley MacArthur. So I understand this, you're saying there was a brief conversation between you and Ashley. She was very short with you, correct? And I see you're
No, I'm
looking
right.
at
This
it.
is the
Yes,
defense.
sir.
And she responded about something about picking up, I don't have it in front of me, picking up, moving a saddle. Is that what it says?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wait a second. Stay a while and listen. How's it going, Mankus? So the defense just yelled out in the courtroom that his client tried to kill the victim. I was so confused there for a second when you said, is this the prosecution? Because it kind of does sound like the prosecution. Alright, I'm going to play through this a little more. Did you see? Hold on, I gotta bring it back just
You
a little
knew-
bit. Did you see?
Did you know at that time Ashley
Look
MacArthur
at
to
look at the defendant's
have
face
two farms for her family to have?
when he says that. He says that thing like she tried to kill your friend.
The text that the state put into evidence on September. This information didn't come up again until after she was arrested.
Watch.
That's the first time you told law enforcement about it, right? You didn't tell law enforcement before she was arrested, right?
No.
That she tried to kill your friend? That she told you that?
No.
Look at her face. She's like, I cannot believe you just said that out loud. Awkward silence. She's vigorously writing down, fire this attorney.
The text that the state put into evidence on September, the text from September 8, 2017 between you and Ashley MacArthur. So I understand this, you're saying there was
Not even, that's what she allegedly told you. He said she tried to kill your friend. That's what she told you. Man.
a brief conversation between you and Ashley, and she was very short with you, correct? And I see you're looking at it.
Yes, sir.
And she responded about something about picking up, I don't have it in front of me, picking up, moving a saddle, is that what it says?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You knew, did you know at that time Ashley MacArthur to have two farms, for her family to have two farms?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you know anything about her having horses at all at that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it does sound like the prosecution knew. That's not a good look.
When you saw Ashley MacArthur on September 8th in the
get
afternoon,
what he's trying
when you were
to do,
working at
but
Stix, I believe you
picked
said it
better
was
words
sometime
there.
2 to 3 in the afternoon, is that correct, on September 8th?
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned she was up there in Zach MacArthur's truck?
Yes.
Is that a Ford F-250, a big pickup truck?
Yes, sir.
And it's fair to say that she was wearing a t-shirt, flip-flops, and shorts. Is that what you call her wearing?
Yes, sir.
T-shirt was white?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you saw Ashley MacArthur at that time, it's fair to say, as far as her dress, I mean, you didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, like any blood on her white t-shirt, on her shorts, on her legs, on her flip-flops, correct?
No, sir.
She didn't appear to be dirty in any form or fashion, correct?
No, sir.
So the crime did allegedly happen on September 8th is what I'm gathering here.
After September 9th, 2017 is a Saturday. After that date, as you've indicated to the jury, you had an occasion to go out to the Britt family farm in Cantonment, correct? The farm out in Cantonment, I think you described to the jury, you had occasion to go out there after September 9th, 2017?
I had an occasion.
I'm sorry. All right. You went out to the Britt family farm after September 9th, 2017?
Yes, I went out.
Apologize.
Yes.
Okay. And Mrs. MacArthur took you out there, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when y'all went out there, I think you talked about taking a photograph of a horse, correct?
Yes, sir.
That belonged at least to Ashley MacArthur or her daughter or somebody, correct?
Yes.
And you pet and you played with, I don't know, a horse or the horses, correct?
Yes, sir.
I think, did you take a selfie with one of the horses?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
So you spent time out there. Did y'all go I mean, it's 23 acres, did you go anywhere near the pond or anywhere else around the property?
You know, we looked at the pond through the windows in the trailer.
Okay, so you went inside the trailer. Did you happen to go inside the barn or anything, or look at the barn?
No, the ATV was parked outside of the barn.
Okay. And so did you go to the area where the
Show us a
ATV was
picture of
parked?
property.
Yes, I walked over there with Zach.
Did you ride on the ATV with Zach?
Yes.
Okay, where did y'all ride the ATV?
From the barn around to like where the fence lining was, like kind of in front of the trailer.
Okay.
So close to where they found the body.
And needless to say, when you were out there, nothing grabbed your attention unusual on the farm? You didn't see any indication of blood anywhere, cement anywhere, anything like that?
No, sir.
You happened to go out to the farm on a second occasion, didn't you? After September
This is
9th, 2017.
This is after September 9th.
Yes.
There was a time I think you went out there, you and Kyle Britt had been partying, and you went out to the farm with Kyle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the date of you going out there that second time?
No.
Was it before or after you went out there with the horse?
After.
Okay, so it would have been after September 13th, the second time you went out to the farm.
Yes.
First time was 9/13.
Fair to say that you continued, after September 8th, 2017, you continued to see and hang out with Ashley MacArthur. Y'all's relationship didn't change any, correct?
No, sir.
May I have one moment? No further questions.
All right, Ms. Jensen.
Redirect.
Ms. Warner, you mentioned that you got a lawyer, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You and Ashley MacArthur had purchased cocaine, correct?
Yes.
Were you worried about getting in trouble for that?
Yes.
And you knew at the time the cocaine was purchased that Ashley wanted to put it in Taylor's drink, correct?
Yes.
Were you concerned and worried you might get in trouble?
Yes.
Is that why you got a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, ultimately, you did give a statement to law enforcement with your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Mr. Barossett said you didn't actually see any cocaine on September 7th of 2017.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you and Ashley went to Babes to buy cocaine, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you knew that the transaction would be $250, right?
Yes.
You knew that the transaction would be with T.
Yes.
Okay. And then T came out when you got to Babes.
Yes.
Okay. And you saw the money handed off, but you just don't remember seeing the actual cocaine.
Yes.
And why didn't you go to police?
Because there was so many stories going around and people, because me and Ashley were so close, was that you're going to get in trouble. You're going to go down for this as well. And I was a single mom at the time, and I did not want to get in trouble. So someone at the job that I was at the time, he was a pre-law student, and he was like, my best advice would to be a lawyer. So I went and got a lawyer.
Okay.
I think that is really good advice.
Mr. Barossett was asking you about when you went to the property on September 13th. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he said you didn't see anything unusual like blood or anything of that nature.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
At the same time, though, if you know that one of your friends has gone missing and it's out of character, and you know that one of your other friends has had issues with them, and just the night before purchased cocaine in order to try to kill them, get a lawyer and come forward with that stuff like way before she gets arrested for it. I don't know. Anonymous tips. There's so many different ways to bring that information forward without incriminating yourself. You know what I mean?
This property is huge, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you looking for blood?
No, ma'am.
Were you looking for a dead body?
No, ma'am.
Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Is she for
But it kind of had to be in the back of her head somewhat, right? This is September 13th. So Taylor Wright has been missing for almost a week. And you know that Ashley bought the cocaine to kill her. Like, if you go to her farm 5 days after the victim's missing, like, in the back of your head, aren't you kind of thinking about maybe there could be some evidence around here, or aren't you suspicious at all?
free?
Yes, ma'am.
Is she free, Mr.?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're completely free. Just don't discuss your testimony, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you guys. I know that I said I was going to try to get through all these today, but I don't think I'm going to keep going. We've already been here for over an hour. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get on here on Wednesday, finish these last two, so that when Monday rolls around next week, we can still be on schedule to start our deep dive into the interrogation, which looks like it's going to take place over 4, 5, 6 episodes potentially. Or 6 videos, not 6 episodes, because we can condense this. I'm not sure how long these videos are. All right. Probably pretty long.
Ms. Jensen?
Yeah, they all look to be over an hour long. So maybe we, if everybody's down for hanging out for a while, we can condense them, or they'll be individual episodes. But we will see. All I know is that on Wednesday, I'm going to try as hard as I can to get on here for another hour or an hour and a half, and we're going to listen to Zach MacArthur, which is Ashley MacArthur's ex-husband. Remember, he was the one driving the ATV with Audrey. And then we're going to listen to Kyle Britt, who's the cousin who lived at the farm where Ashley and Audrey were visiting that day. And that's going to be just about an hour long. So on Wednesday, hopefully you guys can swing by for an hour, hang out, watch Jury Duty with me. It'll be around the same time, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe. I really want to try to get over 1,000 subs. We're almost there. We're at like 760, I think, somewhere around there. So please like the video. Come back on Wednesday and check it out with us, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Until next time, have a